we actually built BNPL for SMEs accidentally, and this went live within 21 days. Before that, let me talk about what do we mean by BNPL. BNPL solution is basically where SMEs get access to credit, and it is a particular limit that is available, and they can use that limit anywhere, right? They can use it to purchase inventory, they can use it for their expenses. And but before that, let me talk about who are the SMEs in the first place, right? So SMEs distribution is very broad. Even a business with 10 to 20 lakh revenue is also an SME, even 200 crores or 300 crores as well, right? At CredAble, our focus was, those SMEs where they're already working with an ecosystem, which means that there are repeated transactions out there. And in ecosystems where the SME business is actually purchasing or transacting or buying something from, let's say, a larger ecosystem, like a marketplace or so. So what happened was there was this logistics company that reached out to us and said that there are a lot of SMEs that they're working with and providing solutions for transportation of goods, especially during COVID time and after that as well, when there was a lot of disruption and when cash flow was actually a problem, right? And they reached out to us and they said that these are long-standing relationships that we have with SMEs, and we want to offer credit so that there is no disruption in the supply chain. So what happened was we had several discussions with them. We understood what kind of SMEs are working. So the good part was these are not very small companies. These were SMEs that were having revenues in the ranges of several crores of turnover per year, and which meant that one of the key criteria for offering credit is also the eligibility, right? Eligibility in the form of what is their vintage like how old is the business, what is the director's profiles like, and things like that. So we realized using the data that they shared that the profiles are very good and therefore they're quite credit worthy. So it was now about redesigning the right solution. So our credit teams, spoke with the customer, the product team, and a lot of other teams also spoke with the customers. We understood we wanted to create an integration between the two ecosystems, where the systems actually manage the limits. System also tells when a particular transaction is happening, and therefore the credit has to be accessed on tap, right? So at the end result was that we went live within 21 days, which was very quick, including conceptualizing, making it live, and also going live with our first transaction as well. So the challenges that we faced was, prior to this, was that how do we find a good ecosystem, a good set of SMEs which are credit worthy, and the other big challenge was how do we ensure that the credit is being utilized for the right purpose, for business use cases, for purchases, for expenses within their within the daily transactions that they actually do, right? And so what we realized, therefore, because of this, was that ecosystems are a great way. While we were exploring earlier, I think this actually gave us the right sense of direction. At the same time, even the timing was correct, right? Because of the disruptions, because of COVID and all of that. So we then realized that this will have to be kind of a sales-driven model. So it's not a direct to SME business where we directly acquire SMEs from, let's say, from social media marketing or from other sources. We realized that we have to work with ecosystems. We have to do a lot of product integrations. And what this meant was the sales teams actually reach out to different ecosystems that are already, let's say, providing solutions to SMEs like logistics, and let's say it could be even accounting software and so many other solutions as well. And then realize it becomes easy because the data is easily available. At the same time, we also wanted to design a way where the end use is kind of monitored, right? So for monitoring the end use, we realized that we wanted to build, or we had to build, payments can only be done to certain other players. So for example, I can only pay to a business which is already having a GST. So I can't pay to, let's say, anyone with, let's say, just with a UPI handle, or anyone with just a bank account. We want to ensure that this is a business transaction. So that's why GST kind of becomes mandatory as well. So that is how we realized that we have to get a little bit into payment space by integrating with other payments ecosystems, and also putting certain conditions like having a GST in place and verifying that the GST is valid, and a little bit of basic checks on to whom it's being paid as well. So yeah, that is how I think we went live within 21 days, and kind of scaled to several ecosystems within CredAble.